Nation, we are back. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building. You guys know what time it is. Welcome to the latest installment of the Graphic and Wasted Show.
Or the Wasted Graphic Show, whichever way you like to slice it. What's up, brother?
Good to see my brother. And also, man, good to see the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, man, make sure you guys pay your bar tabs. Wipe them feet over here. That means get those likes up. Keep us in the algorithm. And also hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. Also, if you would like to join Green Dot Gang and get off my lawn game like a ton of people in the chat already, make sure to hit the links up top. They're pinned up. They definitely help us keep the lights on over here at Shieldmore. Also, once again, salute to everybody listening on Spotify and Apple Podcast as well. Everybody's been running those numbers up. Yes, man, it's a blessing. Already in the thousands in terms of downloads. You guys are absolutely the greatest chat in YouTube history. But my brother, how are you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling happy. And also I'm feeling a little slighted. I want you guys to go on over and Spotify and Apple and run my numbers up into the thousands. What the F is going on here?
Make sure you guys go over to both platforms. Type in Wasted Talent, Raider Nation Unlimited, also OLV Raiders Network. Hit that bell. You guys will get notified for all the audio podcasts. There's a lot to talk about today. We almost have already 500 people here in the building. If you guys are watching on Twitter also, jump over to YouTube, man. Get a part of our community that we built over here. It's the greatest community. Make sure to jump over here and hit that subscribe button and rock with us, man. And also salute to my God, Mutation, gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. Salute to all the new members in the building, and then gifting 5 Raider Nation Unlimited. That right there is a gold-ass move. Mutation, appreciate you. Salute to the 5 new people on Get Off My Lawn Gang and the 5 new people on Green Dot Gang as well. If you guys missed out on those, hit the links. They're pinned up top. Once again, they definitely help us keep the lights on over here. Right. So Raider Ryan as well. Nation, Raiders. Salute to my guy, Raider Ryan, here in the building as well. There's a lot to talk about today, you guys. We'll get to the quick stuff. You guys know we moved on from Harper, right? Were you live when this happened? Wasted? I mean, I could be wrong.
I don't know. I can't. It's been so much stuff going on, man. I can't differentiate one day from the next, my brother.
Okay, well, we did move on from our safety, former Notre Dame, Fighting Irish. You know, he was dealing with something. I don't know what it was. It was a lingering injury or something along those lines. I really have not kept up with Harper, to be real with you. But we moved on from him, and we brought in a new safety off the waiver wire, which we're going to talk about here in a second as well. Also, we're going to talk about some rumors around a former Raider that is now available out there. You know, he was just cut from the Carolina Panthers. Look, you guys, we're not going to give too much validity, too much legs to this report, because once again, it was something that we seen on Twitter. We understand that we spoke to Hunter Renfrow before Carolina, before he graduated, you know, and ended up signing with the Carolina Panthers. He was just let go. I believe he was dealing with a hamstring injury out there. Wasted. So they decided to go the youthful route out there in Carolina. They kept a lot of young wide receivers, and it makes sense. They're a young football team out there. But you know, Thomas Harper was claimed today by the Detroit Lions, so that's good, man. He gets a chance to go out there and play for a winning franchise. At least lately, the Detroit Lions have won a ton of ball games. But salute to Thomas Harper, once a Raider, always a Raider. But how are we feeling about this new signing? Wasted safety, Tristan McCollum. This is a guy that is a second-year safety. He joins our Raiders after, I believe, being on the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad. Yeah. He played in 14 regular season games, 2 starts, played in 4 postseason contests as a safety for the Eagles on that Super Bowl run. So he does have a championship pedigree. Over his 17 regular season games, over 2 seasons with Philadelphia, he's recorded 36 total tackles, 20 solo, 2 passes defensed, as well as 3 special teams tackles. This is according to Raiders.com. 6'3", 195, was an undrafted free agent in 2022 to the Houston Texans, where he gradually ended up with the Philadelphia Eagles. How are we feeling about this? Former Sam Houston State product in college, 229 tackles, 20 passes defense, 12 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks, 3 picks, and 1 block kick in 57 games. So, and once again, like we said before, in a corresponding move, the Raiders waived Thomas Harper, who eventually signed with the Detroit Lions. How are we feeling about this?
I feel like, this is something that kind of fits the bill of what Pete Carroll does, from a size perspective, an athletic profile, right?
Yeah.
But this is a guy who, kind of struggled in coverage last year. You know what I'm saying? And he allowed a passer rating of 144.7 and 13.7 yards per catch when he was targeted in coverage, man.
Yeah.
And he gave up 11 receptions for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. And this is the thing, right? We keep seeing all of these moves being made in the safety group.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, the best player in the secondary resides in the safety group in Jeremy Chin, right? And
Agreed.
Isaiah Palamau is a guy who is a physically talented specimen, a guy that has a nose for the football. So he might be the second best guy in his secondary, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's going to be competing with time with Chris Smith the second. But the thing for me is this, right? I love this whole thing that Pete does with, having a certain kind of player, his idea of what a Raider is. And I think that's the foundation of turning things around, right? Having your idea of what your player profile is. But if I will remind you guys, Earl Thomas is not a big guy. Nope. He was anchor of the secondary out there with the Legion of Boom. A lot of people talk about Bam Bam Cam and Sherm, but Earl Thomas was the best player for a number of years out there, right? And I want to see the Raiders bring in guys that are actually proven to be good players in this league, as opposed to bringing in guys with a lot of potential, right? The potential stuff, we've kind of checked the boxes because me, I'm, disciple of Al Davis, right? I always love potential and developing potential.
Yeah.
But at this name in the game, like, I would much prefer the Raiders bring somebody in with a resume to back up whatever their athletic profile is.
Well, I'll say this. This was definitely a Pete special, but it was also a Brandon Hunt special. For those who don't know, our vice president of player personnel, former Philadelphia Eagle, he's definitely tapped in with that whole Howie Roseman pipeline. This is the second player that they went out and got, one through the waiver wire with, our new safety, and then, Thomas Booker, who may potentially start for us on that D-line. So, I'm going to trust the process here. Once again, I like this. It's a sneaky move. Brandon Hunt is definitely reaching back to Philadelphia, his former job. And I'm here for it. This is what, great staffs do. They reach out and they take flyers on potential. And this is a kid that could potentially, make his mark in that room. There's a ton of question marks outside of Jeremy Chin and Palamau. And I'm going to be real. There's a ton of question marks surrounding him at this point as well. I would beg to differ that Terrell Edmonds is probably the second best safety in that group. There's a ton of untapped potential. Love Trey Taylor. Chris Smith is still, really young and potentially can be something down the line. But I mean, look, Palamau has to prove that he is worth that, extension that we just brought him in with. And I like to bring in Tristan McCollum. This is a guy that can play some special teams for us. And once again, he's on the active roster, so he can be a guy that can add some value to that safety room. And I know Terrell Edmonds, the veteran, is on the practice squad, but I'm expecting to see a ton of him as the season comes around.
1,000%.
Once again, I believe we can bring him off the practice squad. What is it, 4 times? I think the fifth, you have to keep him on the 53-man roster. So expect a lot of that with Lonnie Johnson out. But I like the move. Sneaky pickup by Brandon Hunt, and Pete Carroll and Spy Tech. I like it. Once again, to be determined on what we're going to get out of the kid, but I like it. Salute to my guy, Junior, man. Salute, Graphk. We need corners, brother. Wasted. We have to talk about Anthony Volpe. Shaking my head.
Oh, my God.
We'll get to that here in a second as well.
We'll talk about the Yankees later, bro.
Yeah. But also, Junior, I got to say this. Pete did have a presser, I believe, yesterday, right, where he said he really likes that corner group. So, once again, it was preseason. They struggled, but, a ton of vanilla out there defensively and offensively. I'm going to, once again, give all my trust to Pete Carroll, and hopefully he knows what he's doing with those DBs. But he sounds as though he is really high on all those guys. So, once again, to be determined, but we do definitely need to add another corner here at some point here in the near future. Salute to Steven, man. Finally, a real Raiders show is on. I couldn't take any more cash grabs, screaming, laugh out loud. Much love, Graphk, and Wasted, the best in the business. We appreciate you, Chef, on the kind words, my brother. Definitely appreciate you. And we are always excited to do these shows for the nation, man, and ourselves, man. We definitely appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you guys wipe them feet. Also, pay your bar tabs and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. Ira's in the build, one of the GOATs over here. I see our brother LV Maximus as well, and Hug. So our guys are in sniper mode right now. The mods are definitely.
Oh yes, the mod gods are here.
Yes.
It will rain down holy hell on anyone who gets disrespectful.
There you go. Ira says it's Friday. Put a drink in your hand. Kick them gout supports off and enjoy the channel. Salute to my guy Ira Jackson on the $5 special. Also, James with the $2 said, I need a Dodger Woo hat.
Hey, look, they're not from LA. They don't make it. You know what I'm saying? You may get a Spice One hat. I don't know, maybe an NWO joint, something like that. You're not gonna get that, man. Woo from New York. Sorry.
Salute to my guy. All right, let's get to it, man. So today, some interesting news. Hit Twitter early on. Let me bring this up real fast, you guys. Once again, while we're doing this, make sure you guys get those likes up, man. Once again, football is right around the corner. I think it's Thursday night, Cowboys, Philly, and then we're on not too far after that, you guys. So make sure you keep us in the algorithm like crazy and get those likes up. Those likes up. But interesting.
Raider, I don't mean to block show. Get him the F up out of here right now, please. Before I do it, I don't get him up at Alexander Raider. See you later. You have been unceremoniously blocked. The F up out of here, Alexander Raider.
I'm looking. Where's my guy at? Oh, yeah. Okay.
The F up out of here.
Finger is on the trigger, Alexander. We're watching you very, very closely. And Mark, it is cold as hell in my house right now. So that's why I got the hoodie on.
Yeah, it's cold too.
Interesting player becomes available. Veteran safety. Patriots are releasing veteran safety Jabril Peppers per source. Peppers still has $4.32 million guaranteed remaining on his contract for this season. I think he signed a new deal last summer. Peppers has started 85 games, including 26 with New England, and has totaled over 500 tackles, 7 interceptions, 6 forced fumbles, and 7 fumble recoveries in the NFL. And to add to this, Wasted, he is only still 29 years old and one of the only safeties in the last 2 years. I believe he's 4th among all NFL safeties with the 90.1 grade over the last 2 seasons, according to PFF. So this is interesting because he did have one of his best seasons under Patrick Graham, I believe in 2020 with the New York Giants.
Yeah, that was his best season.
And once again, there's still a lot of uncertainty in our safety group. Once again, we go out there, we get rid of Harper, we bring in McCollum, Trey Taylor's back on the practice squad. Chris Smith is out on the active roster. Terrell Edmonds is on the practice squad, but it's clear cut that they're not really happy with what they have at the safety position yet. I know some people say, oh, well, he's not a Pete guy, the size and so on and so forth. Well, he's a Patrick Graham guy. This makes a ton of sense to potentially bring him in. Once again, one of the only 4 safeties in football the last 2 years to have a PFF grade of 90.1. What do you think of potentially bringing in the former Michigan guy? The Spy Tech connection is here as well with the Michigan thing, but how do you feel about potentially going out and bringing in the veteran Jabril Peppers?
See, there's a lot of times where they always link every free agent or person who gets cut to the Raiders. They do it a lot. I see it on Twitter, and I kind of raise an eyebrow at it. But this is one that really makes sense, right? This is a guy who last season had an 82.3 overall grade in PFF, 74.7 run defensive grade, and an 81.7 coverage grade. Now, that is the grade that I'm looking at because we got a lot of guys that lay off the wood on this defense, right? But this is a guy that did pretty well in pass coverage, man. Yeah, he had 208 pass coverage snaps. He didn't have any sacks last year, but he had 9 stops last year, 1 forced fumble, a bunch of tackles. I mean,
special teams guy too.
Special teams got two. Pass breakups. You know, this is a guy that, like I was saying earlier in the show, 29 years old, that has the resume to make you excited for bringing him in. He's not an unknown.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, the Raiders, you know, if I'm being honest, there's a lot of potential and they know what they have. And I trust Pete.
Yeah.
The only thing is that for me as a person from the outside looking in, I want to see a little more people that, you know, I can really say, yo, this guy actually made some plays in this league.
Yeah. And this is one of them.
And this is a guy that has been one of the better safeties in coverage in this league.
What's New England doing? Wasted Duggar now, and now, you know, Jabril Peppers. Like, are they just trying to just get a new identity in that safety group? I know Vrabel is the new head coach, and he wants to build this thing the way he sees fit. But they have one of the better safety groups to me in football.
That's what they do there. That's what they do. You get the guys that go out there. You get Josh McDoucher.
Yeah,
you know, you got Vrabel. You have all those disciples of Belichick that think that they're smarter than everyone else in football. This is what they do, right? That's not our concern. Keep releasing all these good players, put them out on the waiver wire, and be ready to get beat on week 1.
Yeah,
that's what I'm ready for. Go ahead, hey, why don't you guys get rid of Drake May while you're at it?
I know, right? And there's reports that there's other teams very interested in bringing in Jabril Peppers, and why not, right? I mean, he's only 29 years old. He still has a few years left in the tank. This will be a great move, and once again, Patrick Graham worked wonders with him in New York. So keep an eye on this potential move here, you guys, because there's still a lot of shuffling in that safety group, and I can definitely see the Raiders making a move for Jabril Peppers.
You talk about Thorne, you talk about Spytech, you talk about Pete, you talk about Chip Kelly. All these connections and all these players that have been brought in this offseason. But the one thing we haven't spoke about is a person who is connected to the actual defensive coordinator, right? So he should be able to have his order list ready too. Yeah. Go get him one of his guys, right? Because he's fighting for validity, right? Because at the end of the day, Patrick Graham has been up and down.
Definitely.
Patrick Graham, listen, I like Patrick Graham, right? But if I'm being honest, and I have to be honest, Patrick Graham, we talk about Patrick Graham in Raider Nation like he's Vic Fangio. We talk about him like he's a guy that has really, really won a lot in this league or has had a defense philosophy that has gone to a Super Bowl and dominated.
Yeah,
this is not what we have in Patrick Graham. We have a guy that's trying to kind of establish himself as that guy so he can get a job being a head coach. Yeah. Right. So listen, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm on the Patrick Graham train, and this is the last stop for me. Okay. Right. Like if this defense isn't at least a top 15 defense, and I know we have a lot of young players, right? But great defensive minds are able to work with what they have and meld that into a group that you could be respectful. I'm not expecting us to be the 85 Bears or the 2000 Ravens. I ain't expecting that because we don't have Ed Reed and we don't have Ray Lewis, but we do have Max Crosby.
Yes.
We do have a couple of young pass rushers that are on. I want to see this thing turn around this year. And if it doesn't, I'm on the Rob Leonard train.
I hear you. And this is a big year for Graham as a whole in general, because once again, this is the year where Pete can definitely set him up to be a head coach, down the line. So, this is his last shot. I do believe this is going to be a bend, don't break defense. But once again, I think they're going to create some turnovers out there with Pete Carroll helping those DBs out. So, this is going to be, once again, top 15, definitely. But we have given Patrick Graham a ton of grace because of injuries and all the, there's been a ton of change.
There's a whole bunch of hiccups. But it's been mostly injuries, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that we can't attribute to Patrick Graham, right? If you lose Max and you lose Malcolm Koonce, you lose this one and that one, you lose Marcus Epps and all these guys, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And I'm sympathetic to that fact, right? But all things being equal, if this defense is healthy, I expect for this defense to be a top 15 unit.
I agree.
Because of the minds in that building and
Leonard, Graham, and Carroll alone. I mean,
because you have the talent.
Yes.
Right. You don't have the resumes, but you have the athletic profile. You have talented guys in the building. There have been times with the Raiders where we have guys and we're us as Raider fans, we kind of like psych ourselves out. It's like Shallow Hal, right?
Mhm.
We come in here and we looking at that locker room. Oh, he could if the wind blows just right and if the earth rotates on the on the axis, maybe he might do well. This is not what we have. We got some big 6'2" guys that run fast, they can jump, and you can craft a decent defense out of that, especially with the pass rush we have up front.
But that's why I say you need to go add, a guy like Jabril Peppers, regardless if he's not 6'4", 6'3". I believe he's 5'9".
He's 5'11", and he's a baller.
Okay, there you go. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he literally is coming off of a 3-year extension, $24 million last summer. I mean, he's a team captain. This dude has been, a really good football player for a long time. This to me would be a very much Jamal Adams type pickup. Yes. I mean? A guy you can bring in, big name, that really hasn't splashed in recent memory, pause if necessary, but also
how the F do you know what he's been doing in his room?
I'm just saying splash plays, you know what I mean? But once again, 90.1 grade the last 2 seasons, one of the only 4 ranks 4th among all safeties in football the last 2 seasons. That's pretty big for a 29-year-old guy that still has a couple of years left to play at a high level. So if I'm the Raiders, I'm definitely making a call to at least see what it would cost to bring in the likes of Jabril Peppers. So to my guy, Jason Hunter, man, hey, y'all, my 47th birthday is Sunday, and my Irish will give me a win. Talk that Irish shit to start this season. Go Irish, hashtag OLV for life. Jay, make sure to hit me up, brother. Cigar and a drink on me. Salute to my brother, Jason Hunter, and happy early birthday, my brother.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Old son of a bitch. Salute to Gator. Don't play that. Good morning, Kings. Checking in from Vietnam. And I'm wondering what y'all thinking about getting Peppers. I think that would be a great choice. I think we can both agree that it'd be a great pickup at this point because once again, it's kind of a revolving door at the safety position right now. Wow. And I do not trust Palamau at all. And I would love it because once again, if you bring him in, Wasted, you get to put Chin in the nickel a ton. Like you know what I mean? Like he can play that big nickel look and you can have Jabril Peppers back there with Palamau or however there's so many more things so many different looks if you bring in Jabril Peppers. Yeah. So I'm here for it.
It gets you to actually craft your defense the way that a lot of great defensive minds do. Matchups, right?
Yeah.
You can have a Palamau in a situation where, say for instance, AJ Brown comes into town. You can maybe if you can have Palamau try to shadow him, or you can do little things, right? I'm not saying that would happen, but you can do little things like that, and that's what we need, man.
Yeah.
Like, listen, in boxing, you guys know I'm a big boxing aficionado. Styles make fights.
Yeah.
You got to be able to have the weapons in your defense to be able to craft the defense to defend against these guys in the AFC West. Because listen, man, like I always say, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line.
Here we go.
And the straight line to get into the Super Bowl is winning your division. It makes it easier, bro. And I think we need to really start wrapping our mind around beating the people in our division. As a fan base, we all want to get to the playoffs. We just want to get to the playoffs by hook or crook, right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be real with you, man. Things are starting to turn, right? Like the division is very talented, and you got a master class of coaches in this division. But the Raiders are starting to close the talent gap because there has been a big talent gap. Slowly but surely, we're getting there, right?
Agreed.
But the thing is, you got to kind of like strike oil a little bit with some of these young players. You got to strike oil, and bringing in guys like Peppers brings that veteran presence into the locker room.
Agreed.
We don't have enough vets on the defense in the secondary. We got a lot of vets in the linebacker.
The linebacking core.
Linebacking core. That's the reason why I'm hyped about the linebacking core, because I think that the linebacking core is definitely going to pay dividends because of the fact that you got guys that have been in Super Bowls, all pro kind of guys. They know what good looks like. They're going to go out there and they're going to communicate. They're going to get this thing right, and they're leaders too. Bunch of fiery guys, E-Rob, all these dudes. But in the secondary, it'd be good to have another vet, whether it's a corner or a safety.
Jose, this is a great take right here. You are right. Light and Spy Tech drafted Tristan McCallum's twin brother, Zion McCollum, in Tampa. Maybe some familiarity there. This is definitely facts. I believe back in 2022, they drafted him. And last year, he had a really good season out there. Zion in Tampa started in all 17 games for him, had 2 picks. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, hopefully, Spy Tech knows what he's doing here. Hey, maybe Spy Tech did have a hand in bringing him in. So we'll see. But once again, he's on the active 53-man roster, Jose. So we're definitely going to get him to rotate in and out of that lineup. So we'll see what he has to give here shortly come week 1 going into New England, man. Salute to my guy, Jose, on the $10 special. CGR says, appreciate that fire content, my dudes. Appreciate you, CGR, as always. Salute to Accelerator. Graham's a non-factor. Pete's calling the D this year. Let me say this. This is Pete. This is definitely going to be Pete Carroll's defense. But let's not act as though Graham doesn't have something to say when it comes to this defense.
To me, that is a very, very tone-deaf sentiment. Patrick Graham isn't getting paid millions of dollars to sit there and watch somebody else do his job for him.
And he chose the Raiders over Jacksonville late in the game to return to the Raiders.
So that's not true. Pete Carroll is the head coach, and Patrick Graham is the defensive coordinator, and that's why he's going to be on the sideline. That's why he's going to be communicating with these guys, and that's why he's going to be held accountable for how this defense plays. Now, is Pete Carroll going to go and fine-tune some things? That's what head coaches do. What a head coach does is he dips into every single room, and it's not just the offensive room. It's not just the defensive room. Like, people kind of get hung up on the fact that Pete's a defensive head coach, but he's coached on every side of the football in his career. He knows the game. That's why he's a head coach. Yeah. Head coaches are CEOs. They don't necessarily schematically get involved with the minutia of the schematics. A lot of the times they do little things.
What do we say when Pete came in? Culture builder, right? And also a guy that's going to fill in the blanks on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe some spots where Graham has lacked in recent memory, like the middle of the football field. You know what I mean? Allowing these tight ends to just gash us. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to fill in those holes there, pause if necessary, defensively. But once again, don't get me wrong, Pete's going to have his hand in the pot with the personnel that's out there and so on and so forth. But Graham is definitely going to have a ton to say defensively. And once again, Pete just said, what? He's on the field this year. He's not up in the sky, wasted. He wants him down where he can look at his players in the eye and call the defense on the sideline. So let's not for once think that Graham's not going to have anything to do with this defense at all. But once again, believe though that Pete Carroll's going to have his fingerprints all over this defense.
Hold him accountable because listen, and I know I use this all the time, but he knows what good looks like.
Yes.
He's had success in his league. It's not a situation with Antonio Pierce, where as a player, Antonio Pierce understands how to kind of get to the soul of a player. Mm-hmm. But the problem with Antonio Pierce was when everything's and he's not on the field and he can't directly affect the outcome of the game. Yeah, that's a different skill.
Yep,
that's a different skill. Everybody can't be a head coach and everybody can't be a coach, right? Yep. So learning how to affect the outcome of the game and make everybody move in the same direction is what a head coach does, and Pete Carroll can do that. But the thing is with Pete Carroll, listen, he can go out there, but he can hold Graham accountable. He can give him some tips and say, hey, man, how about we do this? How about we put so in this gap? How about we do this with this positional grouping against this offensive defense? But trust and believe, he's not going to do his job for him.
No,
he's not going to do his job for him. So if everybody's expecting that, Patrick Graham has to come out here and right this ship. And by him doing that, he has to go and demand some and put his stamp on this defense. Get some of his players. Now, I think, and if I'm being honest, when we had the other regimes here, they didn't listen to Patrick Graham when he wanted certain people. Mm-hmm. There used to be rumors about him wanting like Logan Ryan and guys like that, and they never went and got him. Mm-hmm. This is one of those times where, listen, you want this guy, Pat? Here you go.
Yep, agreed. Salute to Pessimistic Frank. He says, Washington, here I come with the Monday Night Football game. So I'm assuming it's Chargers week 2 and then Washington week 3, or is it the NFC East Pessimistic Frank and it's the Commanders week 3 and then the Cowboys later on down the line Monday Night Football? Let me know in the comment section, but it's great to see Pessimistic Frank being optimistic Frank today, going to a few games. Salute to my guy on the $2 special, Rob Leonard. I'm on the wasted talent train too. This is coming from our defensive line coach himself, Rob High Stakes Leonard.
Great Rob Leonard.
Yes, salute to my guy. Salute to Top, gifting 10 Raider Nation Unlimited Wasted Talent memberships. One of the GOATs and the mob fathers himself over here. Salute to our brother Top. We appreciate you. Salute to all the new members here in the building. Over there and Get Off My Lawn gang over there at Wasted Talent Raider Nation Unlimited, man. Top, we appreciate you, brother. If you guys want to become members, 1,400 people here in the building. Hit the links that pinned up top. Again, it helps us keep the lights on over here. And Jay, I don't know what this is. It could be renewing your membership or becoming a member on a new tier. My brother, love you, appreciate you. Once again, as always, salute to my guy. And once again, happy early birthday. 10 Commandments. Are you simulcasting the Patriots game? Will there be a full house? Andy, we will be doing the game, and me and Hammer will be calling the game. So Expect me and Hammer to be there. And then, Shillmore always shows up. Wasted may pop in at halftime. Andy may pull up whenever he wants, or Big Mike, but we'll definitely be simulcasting the game. So stay tuned for that. But when real football comes around, superstitious Wasted kicks in and he minds his business until after the game. So what Wasted usually does is a pregame and then an after game special. So expect him to be doing 2 lives every Sunday and leaving me and Hammer to the game, because this superstitious ass motherfucker wants to stay away from the live stream. So
listen, I don't think you guys want to see me doing push-ups and jumping jacks and throwing stuff. Y'all don't want to see all of that. Trust me.
Surprisingly, I think they would. I would love to see some funny shit like that too. Salute to Pacey on the $10 special. These dudes on a Notre Dame podcast in Miami is just a bunch of unintelligent thugs who play instinctual and not wisely. Can y'all translate that? Sounds like racism to me, Pace. Sounds like some
listen. Look. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember. The convicts.
Yes.
It's always been like there's always been overtones of nonsense like that.
Yeah.
Since the 80s.
Yeah.
Since the 80s, man. They still call it the Canes stuff.
Those Michael Irvin teams, like
Alonzo Highsmith and all them.
Yeah, it was a lot of
sapping them. This is
it started way before, but it continued with those guys.
This is Irv.
Yeah.
This is freaking the Blades brothers.
Yeah.
The original.
But it continued even into the war.
Sapping
all Rock was there. You know what I'm saying? Like Dwayne Johnson.
Well, but like back then, when you had sapping them there, then that was like against Rick Meyer and Jerome Bettis and Reggie Brooks and all of them. Yeah. But I'm talking about back in the day, bro. Back in the day, that was a time. The old school Canes, man, the original Canes. Yeah, that was the time, man.
I think it really started to change a little bit, like in those Greg Olson teams. You know what I mean? Like they kind of got away.
Well, it wasn't any competition at that point. That's the greatest college football team of all time.
Yeah,
for sure. The early 2000s Miami Hurricanes is bro. You had Sean Taylor sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Crazy.
Come on, dude. You had
ever.
Samar. Oh, come on, bro.
Salute to Gator. Don't play that once again. Wasted. I believe Crawford is going to surprise some people on the 13th in Allegiant Stadium. After this, Canelo will finally stop ducking. Don't get wasted on this boxing soapbox, because we will not be talking about Raiders football today. Gator, don't play that. You're trying to unlock an animal here in Wasted Talent. He is a boxing aficionado, and if you get him rolling, he talks to me about boxing on the phone, and he knows I don't give a shit. And I just be sitting there like, oh, yeah.
No,
you know what I be hitting Wasted with y'all? I be hitting with. That's crazy.
Nah, he loves it. He loves it. He loves it. He's like, wait. Talk to me about the Ezra Charles fight back in 1960.
Yo, real quick, salute to Accelerator as well. Dang, Wasted take a shot. He was
not a shot, bro. We just have a difference of opinion, bro. Yeah. Accelerator, you're the man.
Salute to my guy. And that's Ask a Bum. I believe Accelerator is Ask a Bum.
That's my dog, man. That's my dog too. Big Little Bosco.
Big Little Bosco. Big Little Medium Bosco. Salute Graphk and Wasted. The realistic criticism of our team is warranted, but Pat's got a new system too. Graham and Pete's seen this off before too. Salute to my guy Bosco. This is Factory Outlet, my brother, and we appreciate you on a 5-hour special. Let's get to this real quick. All right. After this hug, we appreciate you, brother. Hug said, you know what? I'm not gonna let Top just outperform me, with these memberships. So we gifted 10 himself. My dog, I appreciate you, the GOAT himself. Everybody in the comment section, all the new members, if you can, throw some fire emojis up for my brother Hug, man. Salute to all the new members here in the building because of my guy, Hug D's. What do you think about this, man? So, Hunter Renfrow is now available, okay? Apparently, reports are saying that there's several teams that have interest in bringing in Hunter Renfrow, okay? Carolina wanted to bring him back at some capacity. I'm assuming the practice squad. Hunter Renfrow is 29 years old. Now he's kind of mulling over a few other options out there. I don't think that Hunter Renfrow at this point in his career wants to be on the practice squad, right? Yeah. Missed the entire season last year, was dealing with some health issues, but he was looking really good out there training camp with Carolina. I was watching him really, really closely. He was cooking those DBs. Then a hamstring injury happened, and they chose to move off of him, okay? Well, there was a report today that came out. I do not know. Once again, I'm not familiar with this. I just wanted to talk about this. Who was it? I'm looking for it right now. Pick Six Pack. Raiders GM and Pete Carroll are in serious negotiations to try and bring back their former wide receiver, Hunter Renfrow. Now, I have to say this real quick. I don't agree with this. I think that this is so far off base. I don't think that this is an actual source because, once again, if they wanted Hunter Renfrow, they could have had him before he left. They had the first choice of bringing in Hunter Renfrow before they allowed him to leave the building. And he eventually signed with the Carolina Panthers. We just brought in Amari Cooper, who's going to play a ton in the slot, okay? We just kicked Bachman to the practice squad. Jackson's on the practice squad. They're not going to move Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton, Besh, any of these guys off the active 53-man roster to bring in Hunter Renfrow. Also, Jacoby plays in the slot. Coop plays in the slot. Besh plays in the slot. I mean, all these guys, pick your poison, they can all play in the slot. It's not necessarily a need with Brock as well playing a ton there in the slot. Would I love Hunter Renfrow to be back in the building for nostalgic purposes? Would love to see him come back and try and get his career back on track with the Raiders. Once a Raider, always a Raider. One of the only Oakland Raiders left, in the league at this point. Well, I'm lying, but I would love to bring Hunter Renfrow back, but I don't see in any world, unless we move Jacoby Myers for a corner, and I don't know, we're only about a week away from some actual Raiders football. I don't see this happening. But if they move Jacoby and they say, well, okay, we'll get off this contract, which I don't see it happening. The Raiders are saying they want him to stay here. Spytek said it on his presser, Wasted. He's been a professional within the building. They're not moving him. The Raiders have no interest in moving him. There's several teams that reached out. They were not willing to move him. So I don't see any fit for Hunter Renfrow at this point. This is coming from, once again, Pick Six Pack. They're saying serious negotiations. I don't think that
with that crap.
Go ahead, Wasted.
Man,
go off.
Listen to me, man. First of all, why on earth would you have to be in serious negotiations with a guy who just got cut? Like, really? Get F up out of here with that crap. And second of all, why would you have to be in serious negotiations for a guy who didn't play last year? And then when he left the league, wasn't playing well, was fumbling the ball all the time. And then a guy that you had in the building that had first rights refusal at. Get the F out of here. See, this is my problem, bro. I get sick of people. Now, you have certain people like Ricky Scoops, right? Mm-hmm. Clearly has ties to people in football.
The dog is the GOAT now, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ricky. Look, I am a believer now.
I've always been a believer. I believed in you, Ricky Scoops.
He's not a dog. He is a GOAT.
Yes. But, bro, at the end of the effing day, right, you have guys like that, and then you have people who sit in their mom's basement eating Cheetos, right? They're chewing on beef jerky, maybe chomps. They're chomping it up, right? And they just make up nonsense because in their demented mind, they think that the Raiders want to sign everybody who's ever played for the team. Hey, I heard Howie Long wants to come out of retirement and play for the Raiders. Hey, let's bring in Greg Townsend. He's available. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go get Mike Haynes. We need a corner. What the heck are you
I'll say right now, I spoke to him at the alumni. It looks like he's ready to go, Wasted.
Listen, man. Hey, man, maybe Tracy Wood wants to come back. Hey, what the F are you talking about? Let me tell you something. Pete and these guys are not going to go out there and go sign Hunter Renfrow and then sit down Jack Besh.
No.
They're not going to sit down Dante Thornton Jr.
No.
They're not going to take snaps away from Trey Tucker from a guy that you don't know whether or not can play, right? And then within that, if they are going to trade Jacoby Myers, all they would do is they would elevate one of the guys that they drafted because they believe in him, because that is the reason why they effing draft him. So what you can do is you can put that in your pipe and smoke it. And if they do sign Hunter Renfrow, guess what? I will come on the air and I will say, hey, Wasted was wrong. Because guess what happens to me after that? Absolutely effing
nothing. And right now we're carrying, is it 5 or is it 6 now? Wide receivers. We got Coop, Jacoby, Thornton, Tucker, Besh. We're still carrying 5 right now, right?
Yeah.
Is it still 5 receivers at
this point? Wait. Myers, Besh, Bachman's not on the roster anymore. No. It's Tucker. It's Thornton, Besh, Tucker.
We're carrying 5. Coop.
And Coop. 5.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could carry 6.
Yeah.
I mean, I would prefer to carry 6 wide receivers at this point.
You know what, though? The thing is that,
I got Texas top. We were just talking about this. Wasted literally asked me this question on the phone before we went live as well.
Yeah, we were talking about it, man. It's a tough one right there.
Wasted has Ohio State. I have
no. At first, and I keep forgetting that Will Howard is not the quarterback anymore. So that kid's saying I don't know how good he is. So, no.
But we're carrying 5 right now, I believe. We kicked Bachman once again to the practice squad. Malott is completely off the team. So I do believe that if you add him, you're carrying 6, which I would not have an issue with at all. You know what I mean? But once again, where are you going to eliminate another body off that roster to bring in Hunter Renfrow? It can't be on the defensive side of the ball because we're already dealing with depth issues there. Offensively, you can't get rid of anybody on that O-line. You're not going to get rid of your third tight end. Like, how do you free up a spot there? I don't see it personally happening. And I think that this is just shit that's being thrown up against the wall. And it's easy to pinpoint the Raiders because Hunter Renfrow pretty much spent his entire career with the Raiders. So it is what it is. You know, Rash, this is such a move, and it's smart from them. They bring him in, a guy that can play both guard spots, both tackle spots, and they're facing the Raiders come week 1.
And that's a guy that Josh McDoucher signed off and drafted. So
there you have it. In the 7th round out of Ohio State, former Josh guy, makes sense, and he can get some intel on how Chip Kelly runs his system. So, Rash, appreciate you on that. I did not see that update. But, you know, we moved on from Mumford, and it's so funny because we went out and got a worse player. You know, I'm not going to spend too much time on this situation because I kind of already went bombed, wasted chat the other day. But, yeah, we went out and signed Stone Forsythe, a terrible, terrible option at the tackle spot. Yes, he could play the left tackle and right tackle spot. 6'8", 307. You know, a guy that started in 14 games and 53 appearances, a former Pete Carroll guy out there in Seattle. You know, was a 6th round pick, I believe, from Seattle back in 2021. This is a terrible pickup I mean, Skipper was available out there. I would have preferred to go get a guy that's 6'10" and just a better football player, you know, as a whole. But we go out here and bring in a guy that, to me, is worse than Mumford. When you look at the PFF numbers, if you go by those, he's even worse than Mumford. Like, it's terrible.
They're like bookends, right?
Oh my God, bro! Like
on PFF. But see, this is the thing, right? You know, there are a lot of people. They see him, and they're like, all right, man. You know, this is a big guy. You can develop. He's 6'8", he's 307. Oh, huge potential, right? But look, at the end of the day, this is a Pete Carroll move. Pete Carroll, the head coach. Yeah. If he believes he can develop him, then look, whatever. But
there's nothing to develop there. If you could, help the Giants last year with that terrible offensive line,
bro. So this is my thing. I watched film on him playing, right, and he got Geno Smith absolutely
cooked. Yes,
crushed. So yes. I don't know the ideology behind this. I'm not there. He's basically a career backup, and Carroll knows him and is comfortable with him. But this is the thing, man. You know, like, if you know him and you're comfortable with him, you must be comfortable with the mistakes that are made when he's playing, right?
Yeah.
You know, so he's supposed to be a swing tackle. I just, to me, look, and this is just me. I'm not in the building, right? I'm not in the building. You're not in the building. No. We don't know what they're thinking, right? But it is very, very peculiar to me that they didn't go and get a guy that's more proven.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. It's crazy work.
He's been bad everywhere he's been. Seattle, the Giants. He was pretty good at college.
He didn't even really play with the Giants.
No, not at all. He was more of a practice squad guy. But he has, and this is according to Just Blog, baby. Salute to them. 1,051 offensive snaps and 237 downs on special teams under his belt as well. So maybe we get some special teams work out of him. He has 4 false starts, 2 of them which came from Pete Carroll. Came after Pete Carroll left the Seahawks. And once again, this is according to justblogbaby.com. So I don't like the move. I think that you got rid of the better football player in Thayer Munford. I understand the effort looked really bad on tape, you guys, in preseason. I get that. But a guy that can play multiple spots, 4 spots, I just think that I would have rather kept him around to be that swing tackle. I mean, at this point, Grant can be our swing tackle. Wasted. He could put him on the left side and the right side. I don't understand why you go out and get Stone Forsythe when you could have just kept Mumford, a guy that will probably play better for you at the guard spot. But let's just say this. In a perfect world, we don't see Stone ever. We don't see him. And that's the way I'm going about this. Salute the accelerator. Wasted. Who will win between Marciano and Hagler?
Bro, you talking about a heavyweight versus a guy that's a middleweight. Stop asking stupid questions. And I know you're asking because they're both from Brockton, Massachusetts, even though, Marvin Hagler is originally from Newark, New Jersey. But yeah, come on. He's a heavyweight versus a middleweight. Stop with that crap.
Talk that Newark shit. Salute to Ask a Bum. He's about to hit you back like, damn, you got beef with me again, Wasted? I can see it coming in the comment section now. Don't forget, they'll play that. I love Renfrow, but damn, we might as well bring back Jacoby Ford. Salute, man, to our guy, Jacoby, friend of the show. And also take a look at not doing that, I'm not doing that. Gator don't play. I'm not doing it. You almost caught me lacking, brother. I'm not doing that. Salute to Brandon Curtis. Wasted, send me that address. I got you.
My guy.
Curtis, that's my guy, the Jersey King in the building himself. When he says that, that means he has a bomb on the way. So
yeah, man, we got something that I'm developing here. I want to support. There's a little charity in Newark that gives kids college scholarships. They do a big bike ride. They sponsor the kids. They do a lot for the kids. They give them like trunks when they go away to college and everything like that. And I want to put my support behind them. And I hope you guys will humor me to try to help them get over the hump. They're trying to raise like $2,000 or something like that so that they can pay off some of the other kids' scholarships. If you guys can help me, I'm going to run a live probably this weekend. I got to get in touch with them, but we're going to be auctioning some stuff off. So let me know, guys.
Let me know. I would love to get involved with it as well.
Yo, and I need to get in touch with Marquette too, man, because he's an HBCU guy. I want to get in touch with Marquette.
I'll call him right after this. Salute to Mike. Koonce don't seem to be the piece to pair up with Max. Clearly, he don't look fully healthy. Hopefully, we hit first round DE in 2026. Stop wasting Max's career. I have to disagree with you, Mike. It's all in between his ears right now. Coming back from that nasty injury, it takes time to mentally prepare yourself, to go back to battle, man. So give him some reps out there. Allow him to. He started to get his feet up under him as preseason progressed. I believe they gave him a sack in preseason as well. They split one with him and believe Tyree. But Malcolm Koonce is going to be fine, Mike. Let's not jump the gun here. Once again, Pete even said it. He'll be ready to go. It all just starts right here. Coming off a nasty knee injury, it takes time to come back from that. Everybody's not a demon like Max Crosby. You know what I'm saying?
Well, bro, this is the thing, man. Like, jokers don't understand that these players are superhuman, but they are human.
Yeah.
They're human, bro. Like, look, some of you guys, man, have hurt yourselves playing sports, playing intramural sports, jogging, and never played the sport again.
Yeah.
Never played again. You got to give these guys some grace, bro.
Facts. Salute to Matt Millen. I'm unretiring and coming back to the Raiders. We would love it.
I look crazy.
Salute to you on a $2 special. Salute to our brother as well, man. Halo in the building. Salute to my brothers, Graphk and Wasted. Love you, bro. Salute to my guy. We got to catch up with you soon. Salute to Pace. There's someone on the Central Arkansas Bears team named Dude Person. I just seen that on Twitter. It's absolutely hilarious. I forgot who. It was an Icy Vert. I think that Eagles fan that shared that. That shit is hilarious, bro. Dude Person. And we're going to talk about this Micah Parsons situation here in a second, you guys. So stay tuned. But we're here to just say this. We're both calling cap on the Hunter Renfrow shit. Okay.
Yeah, we got to circle all the way back 10 minutes ago.
Yes, there's no need for him on this roster.
Before the show, in the middle of the show, after the show, and guess what? If they bring Hunter Renfrow in, it's probably to light the Al Davis torch. I don't think that Hunter Renfrow is coming back this particular season. There's no disrespect to Hunter Renfrow.
No,
Hunter Renfrow put it down for the Raiders. He'll always have my respect.
Always.
But at this point, we are trying to build something. Like, bro, the thing is, a lot of the times when you have a new organization, right, the head coach and the GM have a job to do, right? But the thing is that sometimes, and this is why it's good to have a head coach and a GM, and for the GM to have the power. Head coaches see a week down the line, 2 weeks down the line, 3 weeks down the line. A GM has to see 3 years down the line.
Yes.
And that GM needs to develop these players that he drafted that are going to be on his resume for the rest of his career. He has to make sure that he puts them in the best situation to be successful. And them sitting on a bench is not going to get them successful. Reps. That's how you get better in the National Football League.
Agreed. But once again, if Hunter comes home, We'll root for him every step of the way, but there's not a need for him, especially when you go out there and get Coop, who's probably going to play a ton in the slot. I know that Pete said that he's going to work with Dante on the boundary during his presser. Trust and believe Coop's going to be in the slot a ton, and Brock's going to be there a ton. There's really no room for Hunter Renfrow on this roster. But if he comes home, we're definitely going to root for him. Salute to S. Dot. Why does it always seem, and I already knew he was going with this O-line, to me that the Raiders, except for drafting JPJ, management keeps bullshitting with the O-line as if we don't need complete power in the interior. S. Dot, let's see this. Colton was drafted by a previous regime. JPJ, previous regime.
Parham, previous regime.
All these guys, every guy on that's on this roster right now that's starting on that O-line was drafted from previous regimes. They just brought in Charles Grant. They just brought in Caleb Rogers. Allow these guys some time. Give them a grace period to figure this thing out.
So how many picks did we have in this draft last year? Let's look. Like 9 picks?
Yeah, I think so.
9. We traded one. We had to move up, something like that, right?
Yeah,
like 9 picks, right? So out of the 9 players that they brought in, all the needs that they had, they took 2 offensive linemen.
Yeah.
And you view that as them bullshitting with the line.
Also, S. Dot, they brought back Will Putnam and put him on the active roster.
Yeah. So you view that as bullshitting on the offensive line, right? In a draft where the talent for the offensive line was not the best.
Yeah.
This was not one of those drafts where you had a whole bunch of guys like Penei Sewell and this, that.
No.
Like, I'm going to give you an example. Conversely, the Alex Leatherwood draft was the draft.
Yes.
There were so many guys that are all pros.
We just went
and we picked the worst one out of all of them. Yeah. We picked the worst one out of all of them. When Slater was in that draft and Darius was in that draft and all these guys was in that draft, right? And we could have had a couple of them, but we didn't, right? I digress. But you can't say that. John Gruden's first pick here with the Raiders was a lineman.
Yeah.
He's still here.
Yeah.
Right? He went out and we're going to go get Alex Leatherwood, man.
Look, you know what, though? Let me say this. I think next year, early, we target a guard. I do believe that we'll go out and get a guard early on. You know what I mean? But
you know why I don't? Because I think I'm
not saying first round wasted. I'm saying 3 because we're probably got to get a corner there in that first round.
That's why. And plus, bro, be very, very careful of how you are judging Dylan Parham. I've always liked Dylan Parham.
He's had a really good offseason, too.
Dylan Parham put on some muscle. He put on some weight. He got on a wasted talent program like we talked about, little blood spin. And I'm not going to say he did that. I'm just joking around. But I've always said that Dylan Parham just needs to get a little heavier.
I'm only saying that because if Meredith struggles at center, they're probably going to put JPJ back at center, and then they
have to get a guard.
Rodgers isn't ready to go. They're going to have to go get someone else.
But personally, I think that this line is going to surprise a lot of people this year. S-Dot is a chubby chaser. He needs to stop that crap. He goes to those weird strip clubs with nothing but chicks over 260 pounds. You got to stop that crap, S-Dot, you chubby chaser, you.
Salute to S-Dot, a.k.a. the chubby chaser.
Appreciate
you, brother. 20 for the kids. That means a lot. Salute to my guy. Already putting some money away for the cause, man. Salute to my brother and one of the GOATs over here, Top Beats. Salute to Holy Moly Donuts, gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships as well. Appreciate you, my brother. If you guys want to become a member, like Holy Moly, he's throwing them out, dishing them out there. Hit the link. It's pinned up top. Once again, I'll say it a million times. It helps us keep the lights on over here at Shieldmore. My brother, appreciate you. Salute to Steven. Would you rather have Peppers or Gilmore? I'd rather go Peppers. Gilmore fits a need at the cornerback position, but honestly, I don't know what the hell Gilmore has left in the tank. Honestly, like he's up there. How old is Gilmore right now? Like 35?
I don't know. I think he's 33, 34. I don't know if 35. Is he 35? He's been in the league a long time, bro.
He'll be 35 in September.
He's 34. He's
34,
35. Bro, whatever. Look, man. You talking about 35 or 29? What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Right. And then it's the thing, bro. Gilmore might be in a situation where, he might have to be a safety, right? You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know what they're gonna run, right? Like if they do some of that Gus Bradley stuff, which we know he's a disciple of Pete, right?
Yeah.
Then Gilmore makes sense, right? They will let some of that fence post cover 3 stuff, right? But we really don't know what they're trying to run here. I'm gonna trust in the process. I'm gonna trust in Pete Carroll because guess what? He has developed a lot more corners than any coach that I could think of in recent memory, right? I trust Pete when it comes to defensive backs, and I trust Todd Bowles when it comes to defensive backs.
Oh, yeah, he's a stud.
So when you start talking about Pete, I don't doubt him. And if Pete's gonna go out there and bring anybody, and it's gonna be Tariq Woolen. It's gonna be the great and powerful Tariq Woolen.
We got to keep talking it into existence. We got to keep speaking into existence, man. Tariq Woolen is going to be a Raider. They're going to sign him to a massive new deal, and he'll be the guy that'll be a corner one for our Raiders moving forward. I'm telling you, keep it in the cards. Tariq Woolen will be a Raider. We've been high on him since that draft. Wasted. That was like our favorite player, one of our favorite players in that draft class.
Yeah, we were pissed that they took Zamir White and not Tariq
Oh
Woolen.
my God, yes.
You remember that? Remember that when we packed out the Ahern?
Yep.
We packed the Ahern out. Listen, many
That's
have tried.
They had like one or two people in there.
Bro, many have tried. Many have tried.
Shit.
Many have tried. Many have tried to duplicate the greatness of Mount Shieldmore. Many have tried. And let me tell you something. That was like Voltron coming. That was the first time we all met.
3 days.
Many have tried, but no
event.
one can duplicate the greatness of the great Mount Shieldmore.
Talk. Salute to my guy Joe, man. I'm optimistic about this season, but all I really want is for us to look respectable on the field this year. First respectable, and then the W's will follow. Salute to my guy Joe Dotson. This is facts, bro. We got to go out there and make sure that we just stay in games this season. We can't let teams get away from us week in and week out. Salute to my guy Joe. Salute to Hug. Half these complaining mother effers hurt themselves reaching for the bonbons in the freezer. Judging professional athletes from the couch is the definition of trolling. It's the grandfather of trolling.
Yeah, but Hug these, you know what, man? That's nasty work, bro.
Salute to my brother.
This effing guy goes and gets some TRT, right? And starts lifting weights and doing pull-ups when he was a little bunny bear a year and a half ago. And now all of a sudden he's judging everybody like he's Arnold. The F up out of here with your
hey, Hug. A year ago, Hug, S. Dot would have wanted you to play on our O-line.
That's right. You better get the F up out of here with your crap, Hug D's.
Yeah. Salute to Coach, man. I don't think Pete and company is as confident. Salute to Hug. Is as confident in the receiving core as you think. I thought everything was good until they brought back. Well, they was talking to Cooper for a while, for months, and why wouldn't they be? They're the ones that brought these guys. Dante had a great offseason. Yeah, Jacoby requested a trade, but it's clear as day they're not moving on from him. I mean, Trey Tucker had a really good offseason as well. Besh is going to take a little bit of time, but he, I've heard good things about him in training camp. It wasn't on full display in preseason, but I mean, what's to worry about? And then you got Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. I don't think they're worried about that receiving core at all, Coach, to be real. And change that funky ass drink, Coach. Go get a new flavor. Yeah, I'm not putting anything Coach pushes up on the screen until that flavor is changed. Let that shit be purple, orange, green, whatever. Something needs to change, Coach.
Yo, look. If I'm being honest, right?
You trying to get Hunter killed, Raider dude.
Yeah, look. If I'm being honest, I don't think that Jamba Juice is off. Do I think that they have confidence? Do I think that they have guarded optimism? Yeah, but do I think that they know that you need more than one grizzled vet in that locker room and that group?
Yeah,
you damn right. And that's all it is, man. The one thing that people forget in this league is that cool. you gotta have vets, man.
Yeah.
You gotta have vets, man. You can have all the talent in the world, man, but you gotta know how to be a pro in any professional sport, bro.
Coop wouldn't have been Coop without Crabtree there. Let's just keep it a buck here. Like every guy has that veteran that they can turn to. Well, most of them. I'll say 9 out of 10 receivers have that guy. Who did Randy have? Who did he have? He had Chris.
Yeah, he had Chris Carter. He had Jake Reed.
Yes.
He was really close with Jake Reed too.
There you go.
So all of these guys, you can have all the talent in the world, but man, it's nothing better. T.O. had Jerry Rice.
Oh yeah.
Sure. T.O. had Jerry Rice, man. Mm-hmm. Like, you need that, bro. You need that vet, bro. And Pete and them understand the delineation between talent and professionalism.
I love this comment, and I love his default picture. Don't mind me just paying my monthly tithe to the Church of Wasted Talent.
Appreciate you, my brother.
Amen, brother. Salute to Darth Raider. Amen. Amen. Salute to Trip. You think they cut AOC soon? No reason to.
No.
There's no reason to. He's on the IR now, and they'll see what they have with Pickett, at practice. And I think that Aiden, it's just pretty much a hold up here. When he gets healthy, he's gone. I don't think that Aiden's going to be around. They don't trade for Pickett to keep Aiden O'Connell and put Cam Miller back on the practice squad. Aiden is gone. He's as good as gone. I don't see it anywhere where he comes back.
Well, right. They say the NFL is a war of attrition, right? Got to realize something. By the time Aiden is healthy, you might have a catastrophic situation with some team in the National Football League that might need a proven backup.
Well, I'm just talking about us. Wasted.
No. I know, but I'm saying maybe instead of cutting him, they may be able to work him into a little trade. Maybe
I don't see that happening at all.
Yeah. Come on, man. Get a 7th rounder or something.
Well, that'd be great.
Get back a 5th.
My dog said Birdman asked for a 7th round pick.
7th round pick. Bro, listen, anytime you get something for something that you were going to throw in the trash, that's a win-win, bro.
Yeah. No,
that's a win-win. If you get something for nothing, to me, that's a win.
Yeah, I agree. But Tripp, I think that we're not cutting him anytime soon. They'll let him get healthy, and then they'll go from there. But I think he'll be on the IR for a while. There's no real reason to that. He'll be there until he's ready to roll. So salute to Tripp. Salute to everybody here in the building, man. Wipe them feet, y'all, man. Pay your bar tabs. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. Once again, man, Waste is trying to get to that 20K. I'm trying to hit that 30 mark. You guys get those subs up. And once again, man, salute the Green Dot Gang and Get Off My Lawn Gang heavy in the building. We appreciate you guys. Yeah. If you want to become members like a ton of people did today, hit the links. It's pinned up top. I want to ask you this. We hit that hour mark. We got to talk about it. We just kind of killed old Hunter Renfrow speculation. We talked about potentially bringing in Jabril Peppers. We both agreed that would be a great move and great addition to this defense, a veteran that can provide some experience there with that young DB group. Micah Parsons yesterday, he's traded. The Raiders were one of the teams, allegedly, that were making calls for the services of Micah Parsons. Dallas sends him to Green Bay, one of their bitter rivals, for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark, a 3-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle who'll be 30 years old and who hasn't really been great recently. So, but it's still an addition. I mean, Dallas, they're struggling with the interior of that D-line. Now they have no edge rushers. So I think Dallas is going to struggle mightily defensively this year. But 2 firsts, and they pay him $47 million per. But I want to read this because the way they structured that contract in Green Bay, Wasted, was phenomenal. Like phenomenal. A lot of people were assuming Green Bay was going to be in salary cap hell. 2025, $44 million signing bonus. So they converted most of it into a signing bonus. 1.17 mil base salary, fully guaranteed. 2026, $38 million option bonus, fully guaranteed. 2.387 million base salary, fully guaranteed. 2027, 34.4 option bonus, 3.1 base salary. They work this strategically. 2028, 40.55 base salary, partially injury guaranteed. And then 2029, 43.55 base salary, $1 million 90-man bonus. And then 200K per game active bonus each year, 250K workout bonus each year as well. So 4 years, $186 million. 186 guaranteed. It's 5 years, 210 million total. So I honestly, a lot of people think that Dallas won this trade.
No, wait, Dallas got absolutely worked.
I've seen a ton of people saying that Dallas won this trade because they got 2 first-round picks. And I think this pretty much seals Dak Prescott's fate at this point. They're going to get a quarterback with 2 first-round picks next year. I can see it clearly now. They're going to be in the Arch Manning sweepstakes or whoever the hell it is.
Yeah, Arch Manning ain't even coming back.
Is that Jerry?
Yeah, that's Jerry.
That's Jerry?
That is Jerry right there.
You geriatric fuck.
You see Jerry right here, Bishop Palpatine, ruining the Dallas Cowboys forevermore. Look, let me tell you something. This is all about Bishop Palpatine himself and his ego. That's what this is about. This is all about his ego. He goes, listen, that boy wasn't going to come in here and do what I told him to do, so I'm going to shoot him. And he sent him out of here for next to nothing. It's the stupidest trade I've ever seen. They just traded a guy who, him and Reggie White, have the amount of sacks, 12 sacks, their first 4 years in his career.
Yep.
Nobody, I'm not Lawrence Taylor, not Derek Thomas,
No,
not Aaron Donald,
no.
not Khalil Mack, nobody. And they got less than we got for Khalil Mack. And to be honest with you, I know you guys don't want to hear this. First 4 years, Micah Parsons is a better player than Khalil Mack was.
No, he's not.
He is.
No, he's not.
He is.
No, he's not.
As far as a pass rusher, yes.
You're just talking about just pass
He
rushing.
has 20 more sacks than Khalil
Not in
Mack.
totality. You cannot do that. You cannot do that, bro.
F up out of here.
Khalil Mack was so stout against the run.
Khalil Mack don't want to come back to the Raiders.
But okay, I hear you though. But Micah does not play the run well at all. He leaves a lot to be desired in the run game.
We got to stop the run, but we ain't gonna get after the pass. Look, but I'm just salty that Khalil Mack ain't come back. Let me die.
I hear you. I hear you.
Let me chill.
But this is a great deal the way they structured that contract. Green Bay is going all in. Salute to them. I know Josh Jacobs is out there shedding a thug tear in Green Bay. Micah Parsons out there is going to help that defense. They don't really have any interior defensive linemen left out there in Green Bay, moving on from Kenny Clark, but they have one of the better duos in Rashawn Gary now in Micah Parsons. But what do you think about the deal, and would you have done that? I mean, that's a ton of money.
That's a terrible deal. And the thing is that if I could have got him for that, I might have, right? But Green Bay's in a different situation than us.
Yeah.
Green Bay, they got it all. They got Josh, right? They
got some holes in that roster too.
They got some holes, but dude, they have a lot going on out there. Green Bay is ready to win, right? And Green Bay's a tough place to win in the wintertime too. Mm-hmm. You don't just come into Green Bay. It's a tough division, but it's even tougher for you if Green Bay goes and you say it's a tough division, but is it, right? Because we don't know what Detroit is without Ben Johnson. We don't know how good Caleb Williams is going to be with Ben Johnson, right? And then you got Green Bay and you got the Vikings. And
that is 1B to 1A. That's 1B to 1A with the AFC West.
Well, we don't know yet. We don't know yet because we got JJ McCarthy starting with Sam Darnold was starting. We don't know how good JJ McCarthy is going to be. We don't know.
There's a great OC, a great head coach with the.
They got a great head coach, but there's a lot more question marks there than it is in the AFC. The AFC West is like kind of boilerplate. We're the biggest question mark in the AFC West.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of know what Kansas City's going to bring you every single year, right? Because nobody out in the NFC Central, nobody's won a damn thing there in a long time. So listen, if we're being honest, I don't think it's even a comparison at all between our division and theirs because of Detroit. You got to see how Detroit kind of does without Ben Johnson, bro. That is a significant loss for the Detroit Lions.
Oh no, definitely. But
so Green Bay is the roster that is the most solvent.
I agree. I agree. And Matt LaFleur is a great head coach too.
And Matty LaFleur and they got Josh and they got all of these guys, Rashawn Gary and all of these guys. And then Edrin Cooper, all of these guys.
He could be an all-pro linebacker.
He is going to be an all-pro. I love that kid.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. That roster right there could be like 14-2 or some shit. And then now you got to come through Green Bay and beat them in the cold. I don't know, man.
Let me get these supers in. Let me say this, you guys. That was too rich for our blood. Green Bay's going all in. They're in a tough division where there's a lot of great edge rushers out there. You got Aiden Hutchinson. Who's out there in Minnesota now? They got is it Green? But they moved Danielle Hunter to the Texans, right?
Yeah.
They got a nice duo and two great defensive tackles there. That defensive line is gonna be phenomenal in Minnesota. But I mean, Chicago has a nice defense as well. I think that's a great move for Green Bay. A terrible one by Dallas, and I love it because I live in Dallas, and it's just fun as hell to watch all these disgusting ass looks that all these Cowboy fans have on their faces. But I'll say this: a little too rich for my blood in terms of the money. But Micah, salute to you. I love it. Changed his life. His mom is retiring now from her job. Great things to see. Green Bay going all in, man. Salute to them. Salute to Hug as well. I watched the Jerry Jones interview, and this dude spoke in so many circles. I'm pretty sure he confused himself in the media room. Ain't seen something like that since the Biden interview. Now, you know what's funny? I'm going to say something that none of you guys may understand. Wrestling. He reminds me of Dave Meltzer. I don't know if you remember Dave Meltzer. He's a journalist that writes wrestling stuff. He's been around for many, many years, decades. And he speaks exactly like Jerry Jones. It's like somebody's doing this to him every time he's talking. It's
look, Jerry. Look, let me tell you something. Jerry's on a frequency that a lot of people are not. Right now, this is the problem with Jerry. Right, for as bad of a GM as he's been running the Cowboys, he's been equally as great of a businessman for the National Football League. Jerry really brought the money to the NFL. He did. Right, he made it from $1 million business, millionaires versus thousandaires, to millionaires versus billionaires. Jerry is directly responsible for bringing a lot of the deals and things that the league has, right? Mm-hmm. But one thing that Jerry has not been able to do is not been able to remove his ego from running that team.
Yep.
And his ego at every turn has been what has destroyed the Dallas Cowboys at every turn, no matter what. And he hasn't been able to say, hey, man, let somebody that knows what they're doing. Because I want to try to fake like I'm Al Davis. He is not Al Davis.
No.
He does not know the game. Al Davis held every position in football besides a referee and a player.
Yeah.
Al Davis was the GM. Al Davis was a scout. He was a coach and offensive coordinator. Al Davis, there will never be another Al Davis. And that's the problem.
And you watch CeeDee Lamb and all these other players that got paid. You watch Diggs and they're all on social media pissed off. I don't think Jerry Jones understands the shitstorm that he created around his organization. Those players are going to try and finish up their contracts and get the hell out of Dallas.
And nobody's going to want to play.
Nobody's going to want to play.
And he doesn't realize what he did twice. Yeah. When he ran Jimmy out of there, how do you fire a guy who wins 2 Super Bowls in a row?
You're right.
And then after that, yo, you the organization was in dire straits. You hire Bill rebuilds it, and you fuck it up again.
Yeah. It's nasty work. But hey, once again,
I'm so glad if it's any organization.
Yep.
I'm glad it's happening to the Cowboys. And I hope it happens to the Queefs later.
Look, it can always be worse, fellas. We could be the Dallas Cowboys. Salute the Raider D510. That thug tier is from Donald Penn Lane, Diablo, Lincoln Logs. Salute yo, real ones know what he's talking about.
Take it.
Salute to Jermaine. No way too much for us. We need them picks, and we would be paying 2 defensive players big money. Well, this is the thing that's crazy to me, Jermaine, is let's just say we did make a call. If Jerry didn't take the Raiders offer, if we offered 2 first, why would you essentially just took 2 late first-round picks? Like too late, like Green Bay could be drafting in the late 20s or potentially 30. Like
pretty much 2 second-round picks for Micah.
Yeah. So and then you compare that to the Khalil Mack trade. And it's just like, what in the hell is Jerry doing? And then he backs up the claim of we all wanted to get rid of him. And, if we wanted to pay him, he'd still be here.
Because you would have been able to open up the field to everyone else. Yeah. Doing it this late in the game shrinks the field because everybody's already allocated their resources financially. Mm-hmm. So this is emotion and ego.
Yeah.
That's what this is. I don't really care. The thing with the Raiders is, and I said this on Twitter, I don't necessarily want the Raiders to go big game hunting because we are not one player away from competing for a Super Bowl, right? Mm-hmm. What will happen is it will put us in the Super Bowl conversation unjustly. And that's what I don't want.
I was all for Micah. I'm gonna be honest.
No, I know you were, right? But for me, if everything was boilerplate, right? And you're like, yo, Khalil Mack was 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a third, right? Then now for the Raiders, it's going to be 3, and it's going to be this and that. And when you got a new GM and you got a head coach that just came in here, I don't want to hamstring them from being able to build this roster in the way they see fit.
I definitely hear you.
Grab perspective early for one player when you have a situation where every unit on this team could use some improvement.
Yeah, agreed. Salute to Joey. For the kids, we appreciate you on the $10 special, brother. Thank you so much. People are already piling in, man, sending their donations for a great cause. Salute to Jermaine. I think Booker is going to be very good. Hopefully, Jermaine, once again, he had a really good offseason for us coming over from Philly. It looks like this may be a great trade for both. Ja'Cory Bennett, their fans are really high on him already. And it looks like Thomas Booker may even potentially start. And if not, he'll be a heavy rotational piece on that D-line, next to Adam Butler and Jonah Lalu in the interior of that defensive line. So, Jermaine, I hear you, brother.
T-Book starts, then we traded a starter for a starter, and it's even Stevens in one hand, wash the other.
Yep, agreed. Salute to our sis Niles, gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. We appreciate you, sis, as always. It's always good to see you here in the building. And salute to all the new members in the building because of our sis Niles 2809. We appreciate you. S. Dot says, talk wasted, talk. But Yeah. Other than that, man, about to come up on this hour and a half mark. We talked about the whole Hunter Renfrow discussion. We spoke about Micah Parsons and, you know, a little too rich for our blood, especially in year one. You know, I don't think that Pete and Spytech were going to make that kind of move. I have to do it every time you do it. We spoke about Jabril Peppers. Once again, I would love to see the Raiders pick him up. He'd be a great addition to this defense. If you guys have any questions in the comment section, get a few in before we get out of here. Janoy says this was an ass team last year. Some of y'all expected in one off season for these guys to make us an AFC title contender. Well, this is the thing, Janoy. Coming off of a draft that we just had, where I think, you know, this is going to end up being a really good draft class for us. Last year, JPJ, you know, Brock Bowers, DJ Glaze, 3 starters already on that offense. Like, this is how you build great teams. And if these guys can turn a corner in year 2 and year 3, we could potentially be one of those teams. We watched what the Commanders do last year. They're one of the worst teams in football. They got Jaden Daniels, which is great. They brought in a great head coach. They brought in a great offensive coordinator as well, you know, with Kingsbury. But it is very possible for teams to turn it around in 1 year. It is. Now,
NFL. That is the whole premise of why they changed, you know, how this league is run. This league is run for parity.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to get a dynasty like as if, you know, it used to be in the 70s and the 80s where we had dynasty after dynasty.
Yeah.
So look, you can turn it around. The difference is that with the Raiders, right, we have to compete directly with the class of the National Football League.
Yes.
And that's a little different, right? So we have to have measured optimism. I'm always optimistic that this team can turn around, but it's got to be measured, right? Mm-hmm. And things got to break the right way for the Raiders to really make a run this year.
Agreed. You know, but one thing I can say is we definitely upgraded in the front office, head coach, offensive coordinator, brought Leonard back, brought Graham back. Pete Carroll's going to work wonders with this team. Look, we're on our way, you guys, but once again, it's going to take some time to put it all together. Salute to Solomon, gifting 5 Raider Nation Unlimited Wasted Talent memberships as well. Solly, we appreciate you. Salute to all the new members in the building because of Solomon Mitchell. Let me say this as well, you guys. Also, the Raiders did name Max Crosby, Geno Smith, and AJ Cole. So they're captains of this football team, which is great. I mean, there's no real surprises here, right? AJ Cole is one of the best punters in football. Max is one of the best defensive ends in football. And Geno just came over. He's Pete Carroll's guy, 3rd-round pick. He's going to be the dude for us, 2-time Pro Bowler. So no shockers here. But once again, the Raiders did name those guys team captains Thursday morning. So great to see. Well-deserved. Also, another move the Raiders made, which is kind of weird that the Athletic just dropped this. There was already rumors of him already being in the building, but the role of Alex Guerrero, Tom Brady's longtime body coach, was named the wellness coordinator for the Raiders. So I don't know if this was just like put out there late in the game. I was already from what I was told, he was already in the building, but it looks as though they gave him an official title. So he's the wellness coordinator. For those who are not familiar with him, he's a guy that worked with Tom Brady his entire career. I believe he even got into it with the head coach out there in New England at one point. You know, him and Brady, their relationship kind of stirs some things up. But I love this move. I think that he's going to work wonders out there. He worked wonders with Tom Brady. I mean, this dude won a championship in his 40s. So what do you think about the move? Wasted.
Look, man. He's definitely, if you're using Tom Brady as archetype, great, right? But there have been some kind of controversy over the years, you know, about some of the methods that he used and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But look, I love the philosophy behind bringing in a guy who has had success all over sports.
Yeah.
So if he's won at a high level, he's helped people convert their careers, nutrition, things of that nature. If he can unlock something in guys like Max Crosby, guys like Geno, if he can unlock what he unlocked in Tom Brady, I'm with it.
I'm here for it.
And this is one of the big reasons why it's cool to have a guy like Brady in the building, right? You know, a lot of us had to warm up to the Brady stuff, right? Because we're Raiders. We're Raiders, man, at the end of the day.
But this is a great addition.
This is a great addition, man. A great addition.
Yeah, salute to Jermaine. They never stopped working on an extension for Myers. Jermaine, this is the thing. They were already working on it. Just because they couldn't agree with something doesn't mean that they got away from the bargaining table. I know that Jacoby requested a trade, but I think that was just kind of for shits and giggles, kind of putting the Raiders on notice.
Shits and giggles.
I'm saying putting the Raiders on notice.
Yeah, well, that's an agent tactic. Like, listen, bro, when you have a situation where you have no leverage, the only thing you can say is I quit.
Yeah.
It's the only thing you can say. He has no leverage.
He's
under contract.
And this is the thing, Jermaine. He has not made it by superstar and star standards. He hasn't made a ton of money up to this point in his career. He can't afford to sit out any of these games.
So 1 year left in hardcore dollars.
And at his age,
talking about.
He needs this year to have a big year to get that last big deal.
Yeah, so because when you go to the bargaining table with any team in this league, they're gonna say, "Yo, all right, man. Yo, we don't view you as a number one guy." Yeah. And then even with the Raiders, people said, well, he's our number one receiver. He's our number one receiver, but he's our second option.
Yes.
Because Brock Bowers is really the number one option on offense, right?
Yep.
And then now you have a situation when Ashton Genty's going to be in.
Yeah, he's gonna,
And then listen, bro, when you got a running back like Ashton Genty, they set the table for everybody.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Jacoby goes back to that 700-yard form.
I do too, right? Yeah. So I think he comes back to earth, right? Because when you look at the totality of his career, it is 700-800 yards, not as many targets. Because when you have the worst running game in the league, you essentially use short passing game as your running game.
As your ground game.
Jacoby Myers was that guy that was doing all the dirty work underneath over the middle. And you had two guys like him and Brock Bowers who were feasting on over those little short passes. They were feasting.
Yep.
That's not going to happen as much this year. You have guys that can take the top off of the defense. We didn't have that last year. You got a few guys that they've brought in the draft that can take the top off of a defense.
Including
Amari high-stakes Cooper. So what I will tell you is that Jacoby Myers was a compiler in a sense last year because he got way more targets than he'd ever gotten in his career because there was no Devontae Adams and we didn't have a whole lot in the running game. So what the Raiders have to be mindful of, right, is not overpaying the guy because there are a lot of people in Raider Nation who love Jacoby, right, because of what he put on the field last year. Because some of us don't know what good looks like, but then you have people like myself and Graphk Raider who watched Tim Brown's whole career. You got people like Graphk and I who watched us have Jerry Rice, Joey Porter, and freaking Tim Brown in the building.
Yes.
Right? So you don't sit up here and, look, we saw Randy Moss come here and vomit 1,000-yard receiver.
Yep.
Anyone of F&B here.
With no effort.
We've watched James Jett catch like 9 or 11 touchdowns one year.
Yeah.
Y'all got to understand something, bro.
No. Jermaine, no. I'm not giving him T. Higgins money. Higgins is the best wide receiver 2 in football. And if he can stay healthy, he's a wide receiver 1 on most teams.
Listen, this is the difference between your roster and your skill set. T. Higgins anywhere else is a number 1. He just happens to be playing with the best wide receiver
in football. Yes.
Jacoby Myers happens to be our number 1, but you can't name one team in this league that you can put him on and say he's their number 1 receiver.
Nope.
Go down the line. Go to the New York Giants. Malik Davis.
You know what? I'm lying. Right now, it would be the Niners without Brandon Ayuk.
But Brandon Ayuk is there, so he's not their number 1.
Once again, he won't be starting the season. He may be the of the season.
We're talking about just from a visceral level. He is under contract for the San Francisco 49ers. He's their number 1 receiver. That's it. However, which way you want to slice it.
No, for sure. I'm just stating the obvious here. They can use a wide receiver.
They can use a wide receiver. They can't use him in a way where they're going to pay him commensurate to what Brandon Ayuk is making.
Oh, no. Then
we don't even know if he's better than the other kid that they got there. That's the man.
No, bro. He's going to Purcell. I always butcher his name.
Not Ricky Purcell. Ricky Purcell's going to eat, but I'm talking about
Juwan Jennings.
Yeah.
Well, he wants out. So
yeah, well, I'm just saying. So, there's not one team, bro, that I could be like, Jacoby Myers is stone cold, lead pipe locked to be their number 1 guy.
He'll get Calvin Ridley-esque money. And I think that's somewhere in that.
And he's not better than Calvin Ridley.
I'm not, bro. Listen to me. I'm not saying, bro. Calvin Ridley had like 1,400.
Yeah, out of here with your crap,
bro. Calvin Ridley had like 1,400 yards in like 2019 or some shit. Like, 2020, I believe that COVID year, he almost had like 1,400 yards receiving. So I'm not saying in the last 2 seasons he's had over 1,000 yards in Tennessee with a terrible quarterback situation. Well, I'm sorry, Jacksonville 1 year and then last year in Tennessee. But I'm just saying in terms of money, that's probably what he's looking at.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, are you willing to pay him $23 million a year?
No, not at all.
No way.
It's not, but I'm not, me personally, I'm not doing that. But I think that he deserves somewhere in that 20 range because of where the market is right now. The market is the market, just like 13 said. Salute to 510 as well. I wonder how many magic beans we gave the wizard to get Infinity.
Here's some more magic beans for you.
Yo, oh my God. Hey, 510, look, I'm comfortable enough to say this. I know a lot of people, they want to be very politically correct when it comes to this content stuff. Stone Forsythe fucking sucks. Okay. He fucking stinks. He is terrible. He is a worse football player than Thayer Munford. The Raiders made a massive mistake bringing him in. I hope he never sees the football field ever in life. He fucking sucks. Okay.
Jeez. That is terrible.
Listen,
no, that's bad. That's terrible, Graphk.
Hey, no. You know what? Let me say this. He made the league. Congratulations to him.
That's Graphk. That is
terrible football player. Terrible.
Graphk, that's terrible, man.
Terrible football player.
Why? Come on, man. You leave the big stonester alone.
Hey, man.
Man is 6'8".
He moves like one, too.
The big stonester's 6'8". He's 310.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man. Come on. Let's let him develop a little.
If you want Geno to be sacked 985 times this year, put him out there at tackle. If Pete has a vendetta against Geno Smith at any point in his career, go ahead and put Stone Forsythe out there. He will die a miserable death, bro.
Bro, you are terrible.
I'm just, yeah. Hey, it's a no for me, dog. It's a no for me.
Nah, look, man. Look. This is the way I look at it, right? Stone Forsythe is a guy that Pete and them drafted in Seattle.
He would make the platform worse. I couldn't do it. My bad ways. Go ahead.
Yo, so this is the thing, right? They drafted him.
Scrub.
Yo, you went full Andy right there, yo. You went full Andy right there, yo. But at the end of the day, right? This is a guy that he drafted. He got a relationship with. So if you're gonna have a guy that is mid that you didn't draft, coaches do this all the time. They bring in guys because they have a familiarity with them. There might be something that we don't know behind the scenes that Pete values in this kid. Thing is this, right?
He's worse.
Just based off of what he's put on tape, right? We don't know what he's going to put on tape with the Raiders. He hasn't been any good. No. And it's not something that I'm going to sit up here and sell like it's a great move, because the only thing I can go off of is what you've done. That's the only thing I can go off of, right? But with all of that said, I put it in a nice little pretty bow. Graphk is going to go full Andy and say, he's a fucking scrub.
I'm going to do this real quick. Let's just look at this shit, bro. 43.1 overall grade, 132nd out of 140 tackles.
Pull the stats up, though. See,
okay.
All these little grades.
I will. Pass blocking grade, 41.3. 124th out of 40 tackles. 51.6 run blocking grade, 113 out of 140. 3 penalties, 60th out of 140. 2 sacks allowed. He didn't play a ton last year, 60th out of 140. Offensive snaps played, 414. That's 72nd out of 140. Season stats.
Bro, look at the hurries though, and it hits allowed. Bro, you gotta scroll up. They can't see it, bro. They can't see it.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, no, we can see it. We can see it. Yo,
let me get this off screen. Hold on.
Yo, 4 hits allowed, right? 4 hits allowed. He didn't really play a whole lot. 3 penalties, 2 sacks allowed, bro. That's not good, man. He played a snap at tight end.
Let me say this, you guys. If let's just say the end of the world came right now, right? The end of the world was here. I would hire Stone Forsythe to go block my baby mom's house, just to make sure that shit was blown off the map.
Bro, this guy is a diabolical individual, bro.
Yeah. So there you have it. Stone Forsythe, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, your new swing tackle in Las Vegas.
Yo, the great and powerful Stone Forsythe. Look, I am rooting for Stone Forsythe. I'm rooting for him to to doubt all the naysayers and come in here and work himself into a backup player.
Salute to my baby mom too. I would never put Stone Forsythe on you. Never. I'd at least hire Thayer Mumford. Salute to everybody here in the building. As always, we appreciate you guys so much for rocking with us the way you guys do. 1,500 people plus strong still in the building. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys wipe them feet, pay your bar tabs, hit that subscribe button. Also, once again, salute to everybody listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Run those numbers up over there, man. You got anything for us on the way out? Wasted.
I think you said it all. But yes, right there was as bad as my Nicole Brown Simpson comment.
Oh, shit.
That's not that bad. Come on, bro.
Yo, I forgot about that one,
wasn't
bro.
That bad. That wasn't that bad.
I tried to take a stab at it. I don't know if I failed.
That wasn't that bad. I think you cleared me. The baby mom's thing? That's hilarious, bro. Hold on. I think you cleared me. I think you did.
Hold on. Now I need to.
Wait.
Salute to 5'10". I'll build a tackle out of scrub daddies, and PFF grade is better. Wait. I'm trying to. What is scrub daddy?
I don't know what the F that is, but it doesn't sound good.
And Tracy Morgan's better too. Damn,
we said, I do need me to go with block. I'll slide down a razor blade to a pool of alcohol and tongue kiss a lizard. Yo, that's right. They made me ballpark Franks. That's why I'm cool with Eddie Murphy.
That's a sponge. I'll build a tackle out of a scrub daddy. Oh, it's a sponge.
I don't know what the fuck that is, bro. I don't know what that is, bro.
A sponge. Okay, I got you. 5'10". I butchered that. My apologies. Salute to LV, man. See y'all later. Headed to the gym. Leg day until I throw up. Have a blessed weekend, man. Salute to our brother, LV Maximus, man. Have a great day, brother. Once again, it's always good to see my dog LV in the building. But other than that, you guys, my kids just got home from school. I'm gonna get dinner situated. We will be live again, if not tomorrow, Sunday. We'll probably be back with something. Guess what, you guys? Week 1 is right around the corner. So these New England week 1 matchup previews are on the way. We're gonna have some fellow content creators that cover that team pull up on us, and we're gonna pick their brains a little bit about the matchup. So stay tuned for that. I know me and Hammer will probably be back Monday. I know we got Big Mike back sometime during next week. And then me and Wasted are always going to be doing our shows. And then Wasted has a bunch of shit going on as well.
Halloweena is going to be over here, man. That's a Patriot God. Halloweena.
Yeah. But other than that, y'all, as always, anything Wasted?
Nah, man. Halloween is diabolical, bro.
That's the best way to end the show. Just Halloween.
That's it.
Halloween. Halloween.